The United States is one of the youngest countries on Earth, but the things living inside it are ancient. Every state, every forest, every swamp, every back road in the middle of nowhere has a story. A creature, something that the locals know about, and outsiders never hear until it's too late. These are not imported legends. These are not borrowed myths from other cultures. These were born here. In the woods, in the water, in dark spaces between towns that never made into any map. This is the top 40 creatures of the USA. Shortly, you will see 10 parts, starting at number 40, building towards something much darker. We're just getting started, and trust me, the list only gets worse from here. Echoes Obscura, the dark has a story, and I tell it. 40. The Squonk. Deep in the forest of Pennsylvania lives a creature so ugly, so completely aware of how ugly it is, that the moment it knows it has been seen, it dissolves. Literally dissolves into a puddle of its own tears. The Squonk comes from the hemlock forests of North Pennsylvania. Loggers and hunters in the late 1800s were the first to document it. And even then, they felt sorry for it. It is described as a small creature covered entirely in warts and loose, ill-fitting skin, like something that was assembled wrong and knows it. It spends its day hiding from everything, shuffling through the undergrowth alone, weeping quietly to itself. The only way to catch one is to follow its trail of tears through the forest. But there's the thing. The moment the Squonk realizes that it has been caught, it does not fight, it does not run. It sighs and dissolves into a pool of tears and bubbles in your hands. Pennsylvania somehow created the saddest monster in the American folklore. Maybe because it's in Pennsylvania. 39. The Albatwitch. Before Bigfoot became famous, Pennsylvania already had its own small, aggressive, apple-stealing forest creature. And the people who encountered it did not find it cute. The Albatwitch, whose name roughly translates to apple snitch in Pennsylvania Dutch dialect, is a small humanoid creature reported along the Susquehanna River near Columbia, Pennsylvania. Standing around 4 feet tall, covered in hair, fast and aggressive in a way its small size suggests it should not be. It has one primary obsession: apples. Witnesses reported finding orchards raided overnight, cores left in neat piles, like something had been sitting quietly eating for hours in the dark. But the reports that stood out were the ones where the Albatwitch threw things. Apple cores, rocks, sticks, hurled at anyone who got too close to its territory with a speed and accuracy that suggests it was not warning you. It was aiming. A 4-foot apple thief with a throwing arm. Pennsylvania really has everything. 38. The Wampus Cat. In the mountains of Appalachia, there's a creature that is a half woman and half mountain lion. And the legend of how she got that way is far darker than the creature itself. The Wampus Cat comes from the Cherokee tradition and Appalachian folklore. And the story behind it is one of the most haunting origin stories in American mythology. A woman broke a sacred law. She disguised herself in the skin of a mountain lion to spy on a ceremony forbidden to women. When the elders discovered her, they cursed her, bound her to the animal skin permanently. She became something between both worlds, neither fully human nor fully animal. She roams the Appalachian Mountains at night. Her scream, described by witnesses as somewhere between a woman sobbing and a big cat shrieking, carries for miles through the dark. Livestock go missing in areas where her cry has been heard. Dogs refuse to follow her trail, and no hunter ever successfully tracked her twice. 37. The Loveland Frogmen. In 1955, a businessman driving near Loveland, Ohio, pulled over because something was crouched by the side of the road. 3 figures, about 4 feet tall, humanoid, with the faces of frogs. One of them was holding a wand that was sparkling with light. He sat there and watched them for several minutes. Then they disappeared into the Little Miami River. He was not the last to see them. In 1972, two police officers on separate occasions reported encounters with large, frog-like humanoids near the same river. One officer watched it standing up on two legs and climb over a guardrail before dropping into the water below. Both filed official reports. Both described the same creature. The Loveland Frogmen have been reported consistently for nearly 70 years along the same stretch of the Little Miami River. Same location, same disappearing act into the water. And yet nobody has ever explained what lives in that river. But something does. 36. The Dover Demon. It was only seen for 48 hours. 3 separate witnesses in Dover, Massachusetts on 2 consecutive nights in April 1977. And then it was gone. But what those people described has never been explained and never been forgotten. The first witness was 17 years old, driving with friends when his headlights caught something on top of a stone wall. Large, glowing orange eyes, a huge head on a tiny body, long thin fingers wrapped around the stones, skin the color of wet sand, no nose, no ears, no mouth that he could see. It turned and looked directly at him. The second witness saw it on a dirt road later that night. Same description, same eyes. The third saw it the following evening, clinging to the side of a building. 48 hours, 3 witnesses who did not know each other. Identical descriptions. Then nothing. It has never been seen again. Whatever passed through Dover, Massachusetts in April 1977, it was only visiting. 35. The Pukwudgie. The Wampanoag people of Massachusetts have a warning that has been passed down for generations. If you are walking in a forest and you hear your name called by a voice you almost recognize, do not answer it. Do not follow it, because the thing calling you is not what it sounds like. The Pukwudgie comes from the Wampanoag tradition, one of the oldest indigenous nations in New England. And unlike many folklore creatures, the Pukwudgie is not simply a monster. It is intelligent, mischievous, and deeply dangerous, specifically because of the intelligence. Standing about 2 to 3 feet tall, with large ears and gray complexion, the Pukwudgie can appear and disappear at will. It can create fire from nothing. It can mimic human voices perfectly. And it lures people into the forest. Bridgewater State Forest in Massachusetts, an area with a long history of strange disappearances. Yes, it's considered a Pukwudgie territory by those who know the tradition. Locals do not hike there alone. Not at night, or not ever. 34. The Michigan Dogman. In 1987, a radio DJ in Traverse City, Michigan put together a novelty song about a local legend as an April Fool's joke. He expected people to laugh. Instead, his station was flooded with calls from people who were not laughing because they had seen it, and the calls have not stopped since. The Michigan Dogman has been reported across northern Michigan since the 1800s. 7 feet tall, upright, the body of a powerfully built man that had the head of a dog or a wolf, with eyes that witnesses consistently describe as intensely human in the way that makes it worse. It does not behave like a predator stalking prey. It observes. Witnesses describe being watched by it from the tree lines and roadsides, sometimes for extended periods before it simply turns and walks away, like it was checking on something. Reports come from hunters, farmers, campers, and entire families. The northern Michigan woods are vast and dark, and something tall is walking through them on 2 legs. 33. The Enfield Horror. In April 1973, something landed on a porch in Enfield, Illinois. The family inside heard the impact. When they opened the door, what was standing there sent them running back inside, screaming. And by the time anyone else arrived, it was gone. The Enfield horror was described by multiple witnesses over a period of several days as having two short front legs, almost like arms, and a powerful single back leg it used to propel itself into enormous leaping bounds. Approximately 4 to 5 feet tall, gray with pinkish eyes that reflected light in the dark. A local man fired at it with a pistol from a close range. It shrieked an inhuman sound witnesses described as unlike anything they had ever heard, and leaped into the brushy area in a single bound covering at least 50 feet. It was seen by multiple witnesses across several days. And then, like the Dover demon, it simply stopped appearing. Whatever it was, it moved on. 32. The Lizardmen of Scape Ore Swamp. In June 1988, a 17-year-old in Lee County, South Carolina pulled over to change a flat tire near Scape Ore Swamp. When he looked up, something was running toward him from the tree line. 7 feet tall, scaled, with 3 fingers on each hand and eyes glowing red in the dark. He made it back to his car. It grabbed the roof and held while he drove away. He was not the last. Multiple witnesses across Lee County reported encounters with the same creature throughout the summer of 1988. Cars were found with damage to roofs and side panels, claws, marks consistently with something gripping from outside while the vehicle was moving. A local radio station offered a $1 million reward for its capture. Nobody collected. The lizard man has been reported periodically in Scape Ore Swamp ever since. Most recently in 2015, when a couple photographed something large and upright emerging from the water. The swamp has not given up its secret. 31. Fook Monster. In 1971, a family in Fook, Arkansas woke up in the middle of the night to something trying to get through their window. When they looked, a hand, 3 fingers, covered in dark hair, reaching through the screen. The creature outside was over 7 feet tall. The Fook Monster, also known as the Boggy Creek Monster, has been reported in and around Fook, Arkansas since the 1950s. Large, powerfully built, covered in dark reddish-brown hair with a smell witnesses describe as overwhelming, like something rotting in standing water. Unlike Bigfoot reports further west, the Fook Monster is described as aggressive. It has approached homes, damaged property, left 3-toed tracks pressed deep into soft ground, indicating something of enormous weight. A 1972 documentary film about the creature, The Legend of Boggy Creek, became one of the highest-grossing independent films of that year. Because the people of Fook had been talking about what lived in those swamps for decades. They did not need to be convinced. They already knew. 10 creatures, 10 states, 10 reasons the American wilderness is not as empty as it looks. And we are only just getting started. Number 30 down to 1 are coming. Subscribe to Echoes Obscura, follow on every platform. The dark has a story, and I tell it. See you in the next one. Bye.